Can we have everyone's hand up, please? And then down, up, down. Just shake it a little bit and put it on your nose. Great. So I see what just happened there. I said nose. A lot of people put it on their lips because you are watching what I was doing, but you are not listening. But on the journey I'm just about to take you, you need both your hearing and your eyes. So how many of you believe that the right information can change our mindset? If you do, hand up. It's changed mine. It's changed mine. Just by having mentorship, reading the right things, following the right people, and modeling the right people. Modeling is a powerful tool. If you see a man you want to be like, don't model that man. Find 4 more people like that man. You will become a better man. Because what you've just done is that you've learned from 5 people. So they won't say, hi, you copied me. You would have your own model out of that. There's a weird mindset that I and many other entrepreneurs adopted that changed their lives. And today I want to tell you what that mindset is. As a matter of fact, that is the mindset you need any part, any corner of this world to be able to become successful. It is that mindset that when people have, they can move from here to the US, they'll be successful. They can go to Konnected, they'll be successful. It is that mindset. But the question is, what is that mindset? Because it is this mindset that has given me the financial freedom, yes, the time freedom, and the fulfillment, the reason why we're all here today, that fulfillment. And I definitely think you can copy it as well. But you see, if we all believe, and the many millionaires and one of them who said that he's a billionaire that I have spoken with, if we believe that making money is a mindset, then you can crack that code. You yourself can learn that mindset. Those of you that have a business already, you're looking for a way to increase your turnover. It's an exact mindset that we can crack. Let's move on. Next slide. This is that mindset that took me from here. At this time, I was doing my registration exam. Very clueless. I didn't know what life had planned for me. And then it took us from here, where we are, to coming up with a business plan, 250 pages business plan, to now these are some of my employees in the UK. That mindset. And then we said we want to move to Ghana. Okay, Eddie wants to take over the business. I want him to be the boss that he is. So let's come and try something in Ghana. Here, I was very confused. I look happy, but I wasn't. As a matter of fact, I remember calling Reverend Annen Henry Annen a few times at around 6, 7 a.m., telling him that I'm very scared. I've just taken somebody's daughter and 2 kids to Ghana. And me, myself, I don't feel safe within. This was that time. But the same mindset has been able to look at some of the employees we have here in Ghana. We've just repeated exactly what we've done in the UK, right here. And again, that same mindset is the reason why all of us are here today. That bold decision to say, I am going to do it, and I will do it now. In the end, I'll give you an exact framework of how you can crush every goal. My aha moment. University 3rd-year student at pharmacy school. When I was in my 3rd year, I was struggling to pass an exam. They gave me my 3rd chance. Derrick, if you don't pass this, we either kick you out or you repeat the year. The choice is yours. So while I was searching for answers, looking for what is wrong, why can't I grasp this concept so that I can move on to the next stage of this course? And something within told me that if I pass this course and become a pharmacist, the life of my family will change forever. So I was daring enough to say this is what I want to do, even though in my 1st year, they lied to us that 1st year doesn't count. I got exactly 40% needed to go to the following year. 3 friends, 2 of them could not make it. We started pharmacy school around 120 people. By the time we got to 2nd year, there was only about 80 people left. So while I was revising, trying to make it, I must have made a phone call to Eddie. And then he gave me a book. He says, Derrick, read this book. There is something about mentorship and people you respect. When they send videos and links and recommendations to you, you read it like your life depends on it. You consume that information. So I took the book, put my revision aside, then I started revising, reading the book. Read the book up until a point. Then I started thinking to myself, wait, hold on. Is this a real story? Does it exist? But at that moment, I felt like the bridge was formed in my mind. That was when that mindset was dropped into my head. That, Dr. Ben Carson was struggling just like I was at that time in that room. But he was able to become the first black doctor to separate conjoined twins at the Johns Hopkins University. Damn, it is possible for me too. That was when the epiphany happened. That was my aha moment. Now, two things happen. People either move towards pleasure or away from pain. So what makes you become is either pleasure or pain. So you're going after. So the pleasure of, a new Range Rover, it feels good, right? Your classmates are going to see you and think, wow, you've made it in life. If that pleasure is strong enough and emotionally connected with your mental space, you push so hard to make it happen. Or pain, the trauma that I went through when I was in Ghana. I came to a little village. There were times that we used to learn with the lantern. That pain was enough for me to also move and make things happen for myself. So that was my moment. And I believe everybody have moments in their lives. They have moments, things that have happened to them, that if they really connect it emotionally, that becomes the catalyst through which you become successful. But maybe you are not searching. But the way I do it is that I separate myself from what I'm thinking. So I can observe myself looking at the thinker, and then I look at myself mentally. And when those things happen, sometimes I can see, Derrick, you can do better than you are. Then we keep moving. But even though this mindset can change your life, either you're going to go after more knowledge or you're going to go after more money. If you're an entrepreneur here and you feel like you're boxed up, I'm making 3,000 cedis a month. You can make more. But you see, the problem is, a lot of people will struggle with this mindset. Because the truth is, if I take 100 people here right now, only one will become very successful. So that's why most people will struggle with it. But if you come to understand this concept that I'm just about to teach you and how to crush your goals, the situation you're in now will be much better than what it has been previously. 2 beliefs that are stopping you. This is the reason why you can't crush any goals right now. It's change. I can't change. This is who I am. There's nothing I can do about this. This is how I've always done it. And this is how I'm going to do it. You are in a circle or a box. It's so tight that you can't even breathe mentally. And it's okay. Maybe that belief is emotionally charged. So anytime it comes into your mental faculty, you are watering it. And it's growing in your mental space. So for that reason, what we're going to do today is uproot that. And then put it somewhere. Now, find new plants and then grow in that mental space. And that can become your walk with God, your business success, and whatever growth that you're looking for. The second belief is, I need money before I can start. Wow. I'll crush that for you. Well, where do we get our beliefs from? How do we say that this is what I believe so much that that person put that medicine under my pillow? That's why I'm not doing well in school. I believe so much that this is the reason why this is happening. And we get so attached to it emotionally. Where do we get that from? It's from the parents that brought us up, sometimes from our siblings, the conversations we engage in, the schools we went to, the people we spend time with. That's how we get the beliefs that we form. But the crazy thing about beliefs is, at every point in time, you hold a certain belief. Because beliefs are self-limiting. Some people have said that at the age of 30, you can't blame your parents anymore. Go and look for money and change your life. You can't say daddy did that, mommy did that. Right? So you can change it. So let's move on and then watch this. 80 to 90% of people that say that it's New Year's, I'm going to start losing some weight. I'm going to start, this new business. They drop that goal. By Feb, March, they're not following that goal anymore. Why? It's the same. They've reverted back to the same mental pattern that created the chaos in the first place. The same mental pattern. So, see, the truth is that if you crack the mental pattern that is causing you to remain broke miserable, and not crush your goals. If you crack that, you become so great. Because at any point in time, you can see there are better opportunities and you can become better. So you might be an entrepreneur. For example, there were times when our business was not making enough money. Myself and Eddie, we would think, in fact, this happened just about 4 months ago, where we just had a phone call and I said, look, we have to start thinking differently. Let's call this person, that person, we'll make a trip. And hey, something else is happening. Because we come to understand that we can't play small anymore. We can't. You see this guy over there? He looks very sad. Because what he has done is that he has told himself there's nothing he can do about this life. It's actually some juju man somewhere that is doing him. Or his great-great-great-great-grandfather. They don't even know the great. It's the person that went to bring some big pot into the family and they were drinking some water out of it. So for that reason, the entire family, nobody can give birth, nobody can get married. Look, listen. When we stop giving energy to negative things into our lives, they don't have hold on us anymore. You mentally walk away from it. Mentally. And if you can walk away from it mentally, physically you can. So the job is more mental than it is physical. So what this guy is doing is, because he's saying all of this stuff, let's say I give you an example, hypothetically speaking. You have this man here, and then you have the other guy. They started in the same home. They're siblings, amazing siblings, they love each other. But that guy in the little circle has decided that, oh, I can't change. This is who I'm going to be. There's nothing better I can be. And the other guy on the other side said, no, I'm going to walk into any opportunity I get with boldness, with fearlessness, and I will learn and keep improving my lives. That person becomes a lot happier. Now the other guy is on the other side, jealous, envious, because you decided to play small. It's not the happier person's fault. So really what you have to do is to keep improving yourself so that you can move into different circles at any point in time. But the truth is, at any point in time, you are in one circle or a box. So even that guy that is so happy, say today we have 375 people here. Today I'm making 10 million a year from my business. If I remain there and don't grow anymore, I'm in another circle or a box. So I need to mentally come out of where I am and then observe me and say where I am now, I can become better. Then you improve. Now this is what growth means. The real meaning of growth is continuous improvement. This is it. So what you will see is that there's a bigger circle, then that guy again can walk into that circle, and it's the same reason why overtaking is allowed in a small lane in life. That's why somebody can remain the top today and then tomorrow somebody will pass them. It's because of that. Because you stopped growing. You've remained in, it's almost as if something has been cemented in your mental faculty. We must activate the connected mind. And I'll give you an example, very common to you. ShopRite came to the country around 2003. Fantastic. This is a South African company. They've made a lot of money. They're expanding into new territories. So they came to Ghana. But when they came to Ghana, they were in loads of malls. That's how they were doing their business. Upscale. Those that can afford, let them come. Malcolm had been here for years before they came. And they understood the terrain and the business market in Ghana. They know exactly what they wanted to do. After COVID, the CD started messing up. I made a phone call to Hussein, who's a Lebanese guy. And I said, look, what is happening? The currency is messing up. Now everything we buy, we keep changing the prices almost every 2-3 days. What's happening? He says, look, Derrick, I want to tell you something. I've got friends who are at the top management level at Malcolm. And they have told me, even though this is happening, they are going to keep building. That's how they started the Spinters branch, and then they started the East Legon branch. They didn't give up. Malcolm decided, we are going to take this to every single person who patronizes us. So now when you walk into your local areas, you see a small Malcolm shop. I remember calling the owner of H&M, Pastor Marvin, and saying that Malcolm have decided this is what they're going to do. This is exactly how Malcolm was able to take over the business from ShopRite. Now they're gone. They could not reinvent themselves. They could not mend a little bit and say, hey, we see the opportunity. We're also going to go after it. But they say, no, we're going to remain upscale. The business is gone. My brother said we've seen it with, BlackBerry. They interesting people. They decided to bring a whole QWERTY keyboard on a phone. And we loved it. QWERTY keyboard, bro. And we loved it. Everyone had it. Where are they today? But what did Samsung do? We're going to stay in the game. We're not going to feel like we're in competition with iPhone. But we will study competition. If you're in business, you must study competition. You need to be tactical. You don't look at them and start feeling like, oh, I can't also do this. Look at them and understand how they are moving, because they move the market. You are all in the same business, so you are moving the same market. My son asked me the other time, Daddy, how come anytime I see Burger King, I see KFC? And I said, well, son, when we were coming, you said you wanted KFC. All of a sudden, you're saying you want Burger King. It's to tell you that these people, they have the same customers. So when you get there and then you see Pizza Hut, you see Burger King, and then you see KFC, you have a decision to make. Now we have the same customers. You can pick up a burger from here and then pick up fries from here. There's nothing wrong with competition in business. As a matter of fact, it makes you better at running your business. If you are strong enough and you are not in a box, you're going to remain shoulder to shoulder with them, everybody else. Oh, yes, I watch other people that do podcasts in the country. I've actually been to other people's podcasts. I have. There's a reason why. Understand competition. If everybody crashes in the market, you would have no business. You wouldn't. So once we put together 250 pages of business plan, at that time we didn't have any money. We went for a startup challenge in central London. Our expectation was that these guys were going to give us £80,000 to start our business. Crazy. Eddie and I were crazy enough. At the time, we were not married. So we were thinking, we're going to stay in the business. He will sleep there, and then when he's tired, he will go home and I also come and sleep. The guy watched us and said, this is very ambitious, but you can't do it. They didn't invest in the business. When we're driving back, we started speaking again. Bro, what do we do? How do we get this thing started? He called a few of his friends. I called a few of my friends. One particular guy, Desmond, he grilled me for about 2-3 hours. But I think that's the point. Desmond realized that you guys really want to do this business and we're going to support you. These are the people that put money in our business. They paid monthly. Every month they were paying into the business. And that's how we started our business. What did they see? Courage. That mindset I spoke about, that you can make it happen attitude. That's what they saw. Did we let them down? No, the business is still working today. It's been over 10 years. We still have it. If you don't have money to start a business, one idea I can give you is, if you have the courage, that word that is in red, go to Accra, find a tiles supplier. Beautiful Italian design tiles, Spanish. That's the point. You need to start learning some marketing skills. And then go to the construction sites. Look, if you turn right, they are building. Turn left, they are building. Look for projects that you think people have money, but they don't have too much money. Dress well. Present yourself that you have some tiles that you can offer. What designs do they want? Anything they want, you can provide. There is no business in Accra, as a matter of fact, on this planet that will reject a sale. They have nothing to lose. If you come to me and say you're going to give my pharmacy 20 customers a day and all you want is 20%, I'll give it to you because it's not going out of my market. But it takes courage and fearlessness to be able to do that. Because for many people, and this is the minds you want to change, when you become a connected mind, you realize that the people don't matter. But you have to become through you. The people. So you're looking at everybody thinking, how are they going to judge me? Or what are they going to think about me? Oh, I'm trying to say this, but I can't say it properly. You don't need to do that. Because when you go back home and you're crying on that bed because you can't afford money for the kids for school fees, they wouldn't be there. They wouldn't care. You need soft skills and technical skills. Okay. Emotional intelligence. Beautiful. Good one you need. Communication skills. Fantastic. You need that. These are soft skills that you can build. Negotiation skills. And then technical skills. That's how you can start a business without money. So you don't need money first. You need this mindset first. That's number one. 2 years after our business, the business almost crashed. We had no business. We had no customers. Nothing was coming in. We got involved in a conversation with one of our friends. And then when we were speaking, he mentioned something. I was very attentive. All the 5 senses were working. And as soon as he said it, we came home and I said, bro, we're going to start a telehealth service. He says, all right, let's get started. We started that clueless. We didn't know what we were doing, but we did it. The money was not coming still. So we went on YouTube, learned some ads, slapped some ads on it. Boom, orders are coming. Technical skills. Just like that. Like magic. And the truth about business and entrepreneurship is that you can struggle for 10 years and 1 year can cover the 10 years. So sometimes the people around you will be thinking, it's not. You can look, you can be driving the same Picanto, Tico, for 10 years. And one day, something will click. The contract will come. The ads will start working. Then the customers are coming. I remember when I was working on that ad, I told Ed, bro, all we need is 7 orders a day. We don't need any more. 7 orders a day is enough. We put 20 pounds on the 7 orders a day. We came next morning, over 200 orders. Boom. Ads on YouTube. Simply by sitting down and saying, I want to learn how this thing is done properly. When my first son was born, myself and my wife put a company together called Cute Cuddle. We had so many orders that it started causing problems for us, so we shut it down. I haven't received my order. Oh, the order is a bit too late. I said, baby, Kendrick has just come in. Let's shut this down. The skill you learn will pay you tomorrow. The skill. But if you don't have any skill, this becomes a burden. Because if you have such a head and there's no skill in it, this thing becomes a waste. Why do you have it anyway? I have always said that the God in us, it sits in the mind. So this must go to work actively. The connected mind. This is how you're going to crush every goal. I've done this several times in every venture that I've done, including Connected Minds podcast. How have you been able to do this? How? 1 year, 8 months. We had so many people request for seats that we had to get an overflow. And I appreciate you guys on the other side. And a lot of people were just saying that, why don't you just come to Kumasi? By using these 4 steps. This framework will change your life. And I've taught this. I usually would not speak about this anywhere, because I teach only a few people. But today, I said, you know what? Let's drop this in there so that you go home with value. MVCO. What's that? You pick a goal. I want to create a podcast. You need motivation. Motivation essentially is your why. Why do you want to do this? Okay, I want to have 50,000 young men and women connected. Their lives must change. Entrepreneurs, solid thinkers, leaders. So you pick that goal. Connected minds. My why is what I want to have. But you need to be able to build value for the why. But how do you build value? So that could be either you're building soft skills or technical skills for the why. How do we get there? Well, there was a day I paid someone to come to the studio to just teach me how the cameras work. So 80%, if Hayford doesn't come in or Arab doesn't come in, I do it myself. I've had times where I've just me and the guest, we sit down, we record. 5 cameras, boom, let's do it. Because I understand value. Then the next thing is being able to speak. Here, this is part of the whole thing. Value. Now remember, I've never mentioned money here. Value is equal to money. Almost everyone in these seats had to reserve a seat. And everything is gone back in here. But that's the value we speak about. Then the next thing on your goal. Consistency. But listen, if the why is strong enough, you will remain consistent. Anytime you find yourself not being consistent, with what you're doing is because your why is not strong enough. If the why is selfish, you are not going to be consistent. But if the why is selfless, you become so consistent. Because you know that if I don't post today, even today we had to post an episode. I know people are waiting for it. Then the why is strong enough. We're not at 50,000 young men and women yet. And as soon as we get there, do you know what's going to happen? We're going to move the goalpost. Because that's the growth. That's when the circle gets bigger. So the why, strong enough why, you remain consistent. And then the beautiful one that I like, the obsession about what you're creating. Be obsessed with what you're doing. If you don't find yourself obsessed with what you're doing, I mean, I walked into this room. I know they didn't want to send me pictures, but I walked into this room and I said, my goodness, you guys have done fantastic. I've been in this room before, but I think you know what we were looking for. So that obsession, how beautiful it looks, how people are going to relate to the brand, this goal that I'm trying to create, how is it going to better the lives of other people beyond you? This is key. Beyond you. That mindset must be connected to you being beyond you. Because I can't stand here and speak to myself. I'm not a madman. It's connected with people. Obsession. If you're not obsessed enough, the why is not big enough, you don't remain consistent. This will crush every single goal that you have. And that's the reason why this podcast is going to move beyond the borders of Ghana. Because of this. So I give to you the 4 steps to crushing your goals. My name is Derrick Abaitey. Stay connected. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. As part of training these 50,000 entrepreneurs and aspiring entrepreneurs, my team and I sat down and said, how can we magnify what we're doing? It birthed the idea Konnected Academy. We launched this academy about 4 weeks ago. We already have 1,600 people in there, engaging madly. But you see, with the academy comes awards, expectations on the people that are in there. So we have courses in there. We have a lot of cheat codes and cheat sheets in there. And we've picked some 2 entrepreneurs who had to go through interviews. And today, we would like to award the 2 of them that are part of the academy. So I'd like to have my Konnected champions here. So the first person is Albright Asare. So this young girl is an entrepreneur. She has her own skincare brand. And when we were doing the interview, I saw some of the product that she's doing. I said, my goodness, you're doing fantastic. I would love to mentor you and then see how you turn out. Thank you. And then the next person we have is John Tete. He calls himself Village Boy. He's been the first disciple of this academy in everything that we do. He's a content creator. He's applied our principles. He's growing his audience. And definitely a student of light. You're welcome. So my brother, I'll leave this one for you to present these awards we have.
Okay.
Great. And then we'll have Albright as well.